This week on We Are Rhonda, we discuss decommissioned animatronics, vehicular masonry, and moving to Avocolorado. Last week, we helped Meredith, who left us this warm message. Thanks, Meredith. Welcome to episode 10, where a kid can be a kid.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of We Are Rhonda. I'm Rhonda.
I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Rhonda.
And this week we're coming to you from our local library, where we're using the Wi-Fi to keep our place in this eBay auction so we can score these tiny ceramic clowns that are seriously undervalued.
They are worth so much, and we're going to sell them for at least 2 times what we're paying for them.
Did you guys know that they took out the smoking section in the library? Like, when did that happen? Like, I have to go outside. Don't they know I have an auction to keep up on?
I think the Wi-Fi would probably still work right outside the door, right?
Oh, that's a good point, but I don't have any battery life on my laptop. It's like a dinosaur.
I'm getting on the new vape train, so I don't need to go outside. I can keep our place in line for you guys.
You just vape inside the library.
Yeah, I'll vape all over this little child's face, trying to do hooked on phonics, and I'm just smoking on him.
But he thinks it's clouds, so it's cute.
He loves it.
Yeah.
And it smells like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, so he's okay with it.
Very berry blast cinnamon toast crunch. I mean, we're just a rainbow of smells over here. You guys should really get on this new vape movement. It's
I'm considering it. I will only start vaping if I can get a vape mod that can hook to one of those periscoping Carilla DeVille cigarette holders.
Oh, that would be so cool.
I will only vape out of that. Well, because see, that's what I smoke out of.
Yeah.
It's just a regular cigarette.
I love that.
That's like the same concept as putting a really long, silly straw in your drink.
It is. It's the crazy straw for adults and for killing yourself.
A crazy
slowly.
straw, a cancer crazy straw. Oh, sorry. We're being a little bit too loud, Michelle. We gotta kind of tone it down.
Oh, sorry. Maybe we should step outside for a moment.
These people, they can deal with us.
I don't feel bad.
No.
We pay our taxes.
What is this, Nazi Germany?
Yeah, this is a public library. We can scream in it if we want to.
What else do we have our eye on this eBay site?
I did see one of those, what are those even called? Those framed masterpieces with the LED lights inserted, and it just looks like Jesus has a strobing rave going on behind his head in swirly patterns. This is one that I've actually seen at my local Chinese buffet. It's a exact replica, probably the same one.
We should put in a bid for that one too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's only $30 starting.
I was looking at Jesus stuff on eBay as well, and I was just saying that they're kind of self-aware now. I feel like Jesus himself is marketing towards the younger generation. I just found funny Christmas coffee mug dabbing Jesus, ugly Christmas coffee mug teacup.
Get dabbing Jesus.
It should be like a temperature mug, so that way when there's not hot liquid in it, Jesus's dab turns into just him sleeping on a surface.
Aww. He just has his head in his arms, in his folded arms. That's a really good idea.
I was just reading Fox News like I always do. They're shutting down the Chuck E. Cheese bandstand. They're taking out the animatronics from Chuck E. Cheese's.
Oh God, what are they doing with all the extra animatronics?
They're all going on eBay, I'm sure. We have to keep our eye out.
Oh my God.
What if you just had an animatronic band in your living room?
I couldn't ever, as much as I want it.
Here's a quote from Phil Lampert, a Santa Monica-based expert on consumer behavior and marketing trends. The bottom line is that the animatronics they created decades ago were really cool and fun for that time, but kids today are living on their mobile phones, so this is probably pretty boring to them. It's something their grandfather would like, he added.
Yeah.
Their grandfather would like them?
Yeah.
Talk about Generation Z over here destroying Chuck E. Cheese's already. Off to a great start.
Yeah, who are you talking about? Phil Lampert
Yeah,
of
what
Santa
a
Monica?
dumbass.
Another quote from a man named Father John Misty in reference to the Chuck E. Cheese mascot himself says, "This man introduced me to music."
Who, Chuck?
Yeah. And though the world may have moved on, the music remains. Goodbye, Chuck Entertainment Cheese.
Oh my God.
Chuck Entertainment Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese isn't going anywhere. It's just the robots.
Just the fellas. I went to Chuck E. Cheese on a date a couple years ago because they serve alcohol there. And it was the most terrifying thing. They still had the animatrons on the same stage, but they were dark. They were all off and like looking down. Their eyes were like one was closed and one was like half open, you know, like all of them.
Sleeping with half their brain like a reptile.
Yeah.
I feel like all of my photos look like that.
Yeah.
They just come across as if I'm
me
sleeping
too.
with half of my brain.
But then, you know how when we were kids, Chucky would come out in his suit and he would play with the kids. You know, he'd be the little mascot. That still happens, but now it's just a dude. It's just a dude wearing dude clothes, maybe like a Chuck E. Cheese t-shirt with like a big mouse head. And it is so gross. It's just the head.
'cause he's hip now.
And like a man's body. Yeah, he's like hip. He wears like jeans. He wears like cargo jeans and a red t-shirt and then just a big, huge, oversized mouse head. And then it was a kid's birthday when I was there. Chucky, this just a man that you could just tell it was a man. I don't even think he had gloves. He was leading this string of children through the game room that I was in. And like there was really distant, quiet music playing. It was so eerie. And then he led them into another dark room where only some of the lights were on. We followed them because it was so terrifying and I was worried. So we followed them into this darkish room. And then all the parents were following behind us. Like, I don't know how we got into that convoy where we were in front of the kids' parents, but we did. And so we followed them in. And then the parents were like taking pictures, but a little unsure because the lighting was really weird and the music was playing in a totally other room. And then Chucky was leading them in like a dance. It was head, shoulders, knees, and toes, but the music was so distant and quiet. It was the most eerie thing I've ever seen. Like these kids just doing head, shoulders, knees, and toes to very quiet music being led by this big mouse. And I had been drinking, so it was...
You were dysphoric.
Well, you followed Chucky into a semi-lit room.
I had
so
to for the
think that
kids'
was on you.
safety.
You know those like horror stories or shows where everybody's possessed except for like the protagonists and they have to pretend like they're walking along with the wide-eyed, black-pupiled convoy? It sounds like that's what was happening to you. It's like you have to blend in with the zombies. They're going to go to the basement to feed some alien eggs or something.
I think The Thing is a very apt description for what Michelle was taking part of. Like the Mickey Mouse was posing as a man, but
Chuck
there
E.
was clearly
Cheese.
some Chuck. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I know. What's up with these mice leading our children to their deaths?
Well, what's coming next then? If that's how dark things have gotten, it's not just Chucky breaking the fourth wall and coming out from behind the curtain to interact with the birthday party. It's now Chuck E. Cheese leading the children into a side room. Kids should already be taught not to go with any adult-looking thing to a side room.
Adult-looking
Now
thing.
it sounds like there's going to be like a seance.
That's what it looked like.
Now it's going to be a fully dark room and you're just going to be let in with Chucky and the parents are going to open the door and all the kids are going to be sitting around Chucky in a candlelit circle.
They're going to all turn around and hiss at you with like reptile eyes.
It's like the Thriller video, and they all start dancing towards me.
That's the dance they were learning in the back.
Oh God, it wasn't head, shoulders, knees, and toes. It was Thriller,
What was Chucky's motto?
where it's a place. Or it's cool to be a kid. It's a place to be
where
a
kids
kid.
can be a kid.
Where kids can be a kid.
You just see a line of kids following this man Chucky, and then all you see is the door closed behind them, and the parents, you know, they didn't notice that this man was leading their children into this dark room, so they follow along. They slowly creak open this door, and in a matter of a few moments, you just see this fully dark room only lit by these tiny tea light candles surrounding this man who's laying spread eagle on the floor in sort of this Da Vinci pose, and it's Chucky, and all the kids are sitting around him, and they just turn around at the same time to face the door, and it's like, it's great to be a kid.
Where a kid can be a kid. Where a kid can be a kid. Where a kid can be a kid.
And Chucky just starts floating off the floor.
Over the pentagram of tea candles. And the pizza comes. Chucky says, Feed me, kids. What? Chucky doesn't talk, does he? Yeah, he does. Sometimes.
They turn him into that Big Bertha game where you throw the balls into her and her shirt expands in the air, but they just prop Chucky up. And then you throw cheese into his mouth until he explodes.
Where a kid can be a kid.
Where a kid can be a kid. Where a kid can be a kid. Should we answer some questions this week?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. Let's get out of the seance circle.
Thank you for sending in your questions.
Yes.
We're getting a lot of them, and that really makes us happy to hear from all of you.
So first off, we actually received a voicemail. The number that you can call to leave us a voice message, whether it be a question, comment, concern, anything, is 515-957-1796. It goes to a voicemail, so you don't have to worry about some weirdo answering. No one's going to do that.
No.
Just leave a message and we'll play it like we're going to play Justin's message.
Michelle, could you repeat that number for the people in the back of the church for us, please?
515-957-1796.
Amen. Thank you.
Hey there, Rhondas. This is your pal, Justin.
Hey, Justin.
I'm currently driving my car, so I'm wondering if you guys have any advice for me when it comes to managing my road rage. My instincts tell me that I should kill everyone sharing the road with me, but my conscience tells me that's probably wrong. If you could get back to me in the next 30 seconds or so, that'd be perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for that question. How do you manage your road rage? Do you manage your road rage? Are we qualified to give advice on this? Because I have terrible road rage.
Well, how does yours express itself?
Someone cut me off in traffic. I don't even know what they did. It doesn't even matter because my response was to just follow them for miles and miles. Oh and I followed them and I followed them and I had no plan. I had no idea what I was going to do if they pulled into their driveway and I'm like behind them. Like I had no idea what would happen, but I was doing it because I couldn't stop. I followed them for like 10 miles. It was in the middle of Christmas season. They took a right turn off of a road, and it turns out I was going straight into a drive-through Christmas display that I couldn't get out of at that point because it's a one-way trail through these Christmas lights.
This is like the most festive scene from Red 2, like a car chase scene where they just can't get out of this drive-through Christmas display. And they're like, ugh! All these people are like driving through this gorgeous Jesus manger that these people set up. And they're like, damn it, they got away.
Were you fuming the entire way through the Christmas display?
No, well, yes, I was, because here's what happened next. When I pulled up to the place, because it wasn't free, so
and you had the dignity to pay.
No,
petty, Michelle.
No, listen, I pulled up to the booth. This lady's like, oh, it's $14 per car. And it was me and Jake. And I was like, oh, I didn't mean to turn in here. Can I get out? And she's like, no, actually, there's no way out. They would have to like move a tree trunk that they had blocked. It was just a one-way thing. And so she's like, there's not really a way you can get out. You can just go through. So sometimes it pays. I got a free event.
But you didn't enjoy a single moment of it.
But I was so pissed. And I was right behind these assholes the whole time. And it was like a 3 mile per hour speed limit. I was just so mad.
She doesn't want to steal the joy of Christmas from somebody.
And I legitimately did not mean to turn in there. I mean, I was just trying to kill someone.
Right. Were you like honking your horn and like blinking your bright lights at them?
I was like, fuck these people. And then I pulled into Jolly Holiday Lights and they're like, that'll be $14. And I was like, but I just want to kill these people. And they're like, carry on. And they just let me go through.
That's like a really good way to settle down. I'm pretty sure like the seeing Jesus Christ himself.
After the full 3 miles of Christmas lights, I was pretty calm. I was ready to go home, take a little nap.
Yeah, what were you doing on the road in the first place that you had the time to just follow this person to wherever they were going?
Well, I think I was going to the grocery store.
Actually, not tonight, though.
I was too sweaty after all my screaming in my car. I can't go to the store now.
How easily do you guys get sweaty?
So easily.
I'm sweaty right now. I get sweaty when I speak.
All you have to do is just don't drink water because because if you drink more water, then your body has to lose
Well, I
it
don't drink
somehow.
any water, so I don't know what I'm sweating out.
So really what must be happening is the atmosphere around you must just be naturally going into your skin because it's the driest place that it can land.
I'm actually condensating. I'm not sweating.
Right.
I wish I could say that it was condensation that was collecting on my skin, but there's no way
Yeah.
that condensation would consistently fall like a waterfall off of my knees or my forehead.
Eli, you're just morning dew boy.
Aw, that's cute. I like that.
It's more like monsoon man. What comes off of my forehead is not a light sort of sprinkling of dewy wetness. It is a full-blown torrential rain. And the only thing that's keeping me from getting like salt in my eyes, like a huge salt buildup, is just my fucking giant caveman brow, which acts as like river gutters to like direct the water off the side of my face.
Your ancestors evolved that brow for this very reason.
Yeah. Thank the Lord, seriously, because I would just have the saltiest eyes.
Maybe you should be a sea mammal
Maybe that's where I belong. But also, whales don't sweat.
that we know of. It gets washed away.
Yeah, they're just constantly sweaty. That's why the ocean's salty. And all the cum. All the whale sperm. Oh, God. It's so much sperm.
Back to the question. Here's how it happens. If you're an asshole to somebody on the road, then it's a chain reaction. They're going to be an asshole to somebody or back to you. And it just perpetuates. But if you're nice to somebody, it works the opposite way.
I don't know about that, though.
Well, listen, there's no happier moment than like somebody being courteous and thoughtful to you, like letting you cut ahead in a line that you've been
And you
sitting
give
at
the
an
wave,
intersection.
right?
You give the
You
wave.
give a big old courtesy wave.
Oh,
I feel so good and elevated after like somebody is nice to me, or after I'm nice to somebody. Let's be real. After I'm nice to somebody on the road, I'm like, please like me.
But every time I'm nice to someone and let someone in, which I do all the time because I don't want to be the one to cause an accident.
Yeah, it's so
you
nice
know?
to let someone in.
Yeah, I just let everyone in. So I let someone in, and then no one ever gives me a courtesy wave. Then I get angry, and then I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have let you in, asshole. I feed off of that wave. Just a little flick. I need that. Just a little baby one. I don't even care. I just want you to acknowledge that I did this thing for you, and no one ever does.
New rule, you must respond with a wave if somebody's nice to you on the road.
Oh wait, is this a when we are okay? Oh, when we are
Yeah,
cleansing?
just a quick little pinch of one. Just had to throw it in there. Emerald. Bam.
Can we get like a little baby bell for that then?
Yeah,
Like
a little baby bell.
Oh, yeah, that's cute. I like it. But there was a really great moment I had when I was driving one time where I was on the interstate. It was like the 3 lanes in Des Moines, 5 p.m. rush hour. And some dickhead cut someone off and everyone saw it, and I knew everyone saw it because it was one of those things where you like look around and you're like, what the fuck, like you're all mouthing that together.
Yeah.
And then a string of 3 people got in front of him and they were all going the same speed so that he couldn't pass anyone. And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed. I was applauding, other people were clapping, like we had a whole moment. It's like when you're singing to the radio and you look over and someone else is also singing to the same station, and it's like really awkward, but you also kind of feel a connection.
Best.
A story about cars before we get off of this, because this is like the only time I'm gonna be able to sell this. I was walking along the East River and I go there to like draw and like talk, and so there's a bridge that goes over this highway to get to the boardwalk essentially, and I witnessed my first car accident live, sort of like a musical, but more deadly, on the JFK. And so I was walking over and all I see is this car fucking do 3 flips over itself and then land in the middle of the highway, right? And all the cars were backed up, like, you know, regular accident stuff. I don't know how this car flipped, but it did. The thing was, when the firefighters came and the police came, no one was in the car.
What?
No one was in the car.
Well, they were probably ejected from the vehicle.
No, I was there for the whole thing. There was nobody that came out of that car.
That was a self-driving car, Eli.
Oh my God.
That was an Uber cover-up.
I waited because I wanted to see a body. I was like, I am here to see a splattered, messed up body.
I'm positive the body flew out a window.
The firefighters who came with like those giant like car jacks in order to pry the window open because the roof was all caved in.
The mouth of life. What's that called?
The mouth of life. The jaws of life.
The jaws of life. The jaws of saving you.
The mouth of life is just what they call me on Friday nights. Wink, wink. Call me. They used that, and they looked just as confused as I was when they opened the car and they turned around to their firefighter brethren, and there was no one inside. They even opened the back seats, and there was no one in the car.
That's one of those situations where someone is trying to dispose of the evidence of something, and they put a brick on the gas and try to drive into the river, but it misses the river by a long shot and goes to the bridge instead, and it goes across the bridge and flips.
That's some skillful bricklaying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to get a skilled bricklayer.
Yeah, you got to get a mason in there.
Yeah. Another suggestion for managing road rage, have a road rage playlist and turn that on the moment somebody pisses you off.
I have this playlist.
Do you really? What's on it?
Let me pull it up. I legitimately do. I haven't listened to this playlist in a while. Or maybe ever, but I add songs to it that put me in a good mood. And the first one is Here Comes the Sun. Mm-hmm. And then I have What a Wonderful World. And then I have Elton John's Christmas song, Step Into Christmas, which I listen to year round because it's so good. And then I have a few Electric Light Orchestra songs. The first one, Turn to Stone, which is also on my Songs to Die To playlist.
Yes.
Which is a very good playlist that I listen to a lot while I'm driving, just in case I die. And then we have September by Earth, Wind, and Fire, of course.
Oh, yes.
And then we have Summer in the City.
So that's great. I can see this happening. Somebody cuts you off and you're like, oh, that makes me so angry. Click.
Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do.
I see trees of green, red roses too.
Step into Christmas.
And just go through that until you come back to earth.
You can't listen to any of those songs and be in a bad mood and maintain a bad mood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I created that playlist specifically so I wouldn't kill people on the road.
There you have it.
Okay, let's go on to another question. This question comes to us from Taylor. Taylor asks, okay, Rhondas, I've lived in Iowa my whole life, and I finally gotten to a point where I have nothing tying me down. Do I move to Colorado, which I love, but know no one there? Or do I stay in Iowa, where most of my friends and family are? So go somewhere you love, but know no one. Or stay in Iowa forever and just die here.
Donald, you were just through an experience where you moved to New York City. You're just getting past the new to New York City phase, so I think that you have a lot of experience with this right now.
Yeah, I just want to say, Taylor, it sounds like you do have something tying you, which is your friends and family. So I wonder what Taylor means.
Probably just a job and a living situation. Like, I am in this situation right now because I really want to get out of here. And I've wanted to get out of here for a long time. But I really like my job. And I keep making the same goddamn excuse every single time I think about leaving, which is, but my lease doesn't end until November. What an awkward time to move. And then it comes November, then my lease is up. And then it's just like, it's happened so quickly that I just re-sign another lease. Yeah. And then I'm stuck here for another year because of my white guilt. I can't just cancel a lease. I can't just leave in the middle of a lease.
Well, Michelle, my lease ends in November also, so.
Yours does?
Yeah.
What can we do with this information?
I don't know. Taylor loves Colorado. Taylor
loves smoking weed, the nice, the kind ganj.
I feel bad for all the people who are just kind of like living in avocado. Living in avocado.
I was living in avocado before they were cool.
Colorado!
The people who are just living in Colorado that are now associated with being just big weed. They're just big weed people now because they just live in Colorado, and that's like not fair to them.
I was joking about that, but I guess you're right.
Were you?
I mean, honestly, Colorado is beautiful. I drove there alone one day just on a whim. When I was there, I was like, I want to live here. There's just like gigantic elks on the side of the road, and they're just like
Hey, dude, I'm an elk.
looking
Hey, girl.
like
Hey, girl.
curvy roads that go down mountains. When I was there was a tornado. I was there and I went into a wine store because I needed wine for my lonely night in a hotel. A tornado struck. The lady there spoke minor English, not a ton. The tornado sirens were going off, and I was like, it was normal for me. I was just like, oh, cool. And she's freaking out behind the counter. And I was like, is this not normal? And she's like, I've never heard these alarms. She's like, we've never had a tornado warning here. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I must have brought it with me from Iowa.
Oh, you didn't make that joke.
I did. But she didn't speak English, so she had no idea what I was saying. So she was just panicking.
I wish there were sirens for hurricanes, but I feel like those are like bigger natural disasters that you can't really warn with sound. You just kind of like feel the weather for a few days prior.
You just watch the news 7 days prior, and
Yeah. Well, yeah, because hurricane or like tornadoes are like the improv of natural disasters.
To be fair, Eli, improv is the improv of natural disasters.
Yeah.
Good point.
I think tornadoes probably happen because of improv.
Tornadoes are a natural manifestation.
I'm going to tell Taylor something. Just do it. And it'll be scary, but you need to do it. Make sure that you have enough like saved up that you can get somewhere and, afford to sort of make a plan once you get there. And if you don't like it, guess what? You have lots of friends and family back home who would be welcoming you if you decided this isn't for me. I would say do it if you're going to regret it. If you're going to regret it. This is advice from Michelle.
Do it if you're going to regret not doing it later.
Yeah. And you know what though? Also, your friends and family, just don't think about them. Don't think about them in your decision to do this. Donald didn't think about me, his friend and family. He just left me. He just left me here, and I'm just in my apartment, just with this lease that I can't escape because of my guilt. He just left me here.
Well, now
he left us.
Well, now Michelle has the opportunity to move to New York City as well.
I had like a panic attack today because I realized November is right around the corner in the grand scheme, and that my kitchen light, one of those long LED bulbs, it has never burnt out yet. So it's probably on its way out. I've lived here for 2 years and it hasn't burnt out.
There's no replacing those.
Once it burns out, I can't tell the landlord to come in. I'm not supposed to have a cat. He can't come in here and like see that there's cat things everywhere and try to change my fluorescent bulb. Once that burns out, I'm gone. So I have to get out of here before it burns out. It's a race against the clock at this point. And I had a panic attack and I was looking at apartments just to prepare for when my light bulb goes out.
Every day you just stare at that fluorescent light and you see the slight flickering.
I'm going to now. I never thought of it until today.
Yeah, it's not like you can go to Menards or anything and get the same bulb.
Right. And that's not a light fixture I'm comfortable with taking off of my ceiling.
No.
It's like a huge thing. It's like a big, heavy thing.
Get the hell out of there.
So I need to get out. I need to get out.
Move to New York City because of your fluorescent light bulb.
That's literally it. That's the reason that I need to get out of here.
The thing I know about Michelle is that you can suggest things to her all you want, but she has to have her own reason, whatever it is,
it's really
to do
true.
to execute the plan.
Michelle's just that kind of Rhonda.
Yeah.
I'm so stubborn.
I mean, I am the same way too.
I can't do things because it's the right thing to do. I have to like be pushed to my brink, and this light bulb is it.
This is a dark joke that Michelle and I were joking about when we were both in New York together on 9/11. We were like sort of realizing like, wow, we could be here instead of in Iowa. You could die in Iowa in a car accident in the middle of nowhere, and it would just be like, oh, that's too bad.
Or
you could die in New York on 9/11, 2014, and your parents will say, yeah, they died on 9/11.
Like they died on 9/11? Oh my God, what happened? Oh, well, they were in New York. Oh my God.
Oh, were they in one of the buildings?
Shit. Oh yeah, they were in a building. Oh God. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
It was carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, it was a hotel. Taylor,
I say do it.
I say do it too. Fucking do it. This last question of today comes from Jilly Bo. Get it? Like Billy Joe. But it's Jilly
Hi,
Bo.
Jilly Bo.
Jilly Bo says, so I'm an older gent. I've watched the interweb from its baby stages grow into the temper tantrum teenager it's become. I love technology, progression, etc., and I have fully embraced the new age of information. It's a wonderful thing, but it's killing so much. The music stores I used to spend afternoons at searching for albums are gone, malls are closing, and movie theaters will eventually follow. Yes, I know I can search online for new music or movies are closed, but it isn't the same. The human interaction isn't there. I can't touch on every aspect, but you get my point. Just curious on Rhonda's thoughts on our new age of staying at home for every single thing.
Jilly Bo, I don't share your same nostalgia for searching for music, because when I would go into Sam Goody with my mother all those times in the mall, searching for what song sounds like Sail Away, and it was Enya. All right, spoiler, it was Enya the entire time.
It was always Enya.
I did not appreciate the lack of search engine to find my song. I did not appreciate the false hits, which were Come Sail Away, some sort of Sail Away song by Sting. Basically, every song is about sailing away.
I was thinking of that Styx song.
I could not find this damn song, and we searched for years and years and years. Sail Away. By Enya. I would have appreciated the internet at that moment, because I didn't like having to invoke the help of my mother to find this classic.
Yeah, and like trying to hum something. Like, you know, it's a song that's like, You don't want to have to do that. That wasn't any song. Don't
No,
try to
it
look
was like,
that up, because that wasn't a thing.
I was just-
Which still does not work, by the way.
I'm pretty good at deciphering songs from hums.
I have to sing the song from the very beginning to think of like a name. Sing from the very beginning, blah, 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 until I find like the hook where like they're saying the name of the song over and over again.
I've done that before. It's like trying to figure out what letter comes after Q in the alphabet. You have to go through the whole goddamn alphabet. That's why I learned the alphabet backwards, so I wouldn't have to do that.
Wait, can you do it backwards?
Yeah, of course I know how to do it.
Do it.
ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA.
What?
I didn't like having to go through the whole alphabet, so I learned it backwards.
You
I
should be a
know.
librarian.
I am a library.
We need to just come over and hire you.
I have something to say to Jilly Bo. Jilly Bo, I'm going to get real with you. If you haven't noticed, everyone on the planet right now, in this moment, this insignificant moment, everyone on Earth is suffering from depression and anxiety. The cyber world around us and our struggling bodies and minds, it's adapting to our crippling anxiety and allowing us to stay indoors away from the mayhem that is beyond these walls. So thank you, Amazon Prime, for letting me stay inside. Thank you also, Amazon Music, for letting me just think in my own skull about a song and not having to go to the music store and scan the barcode on the CD and put on those dirty headphones to listen to the tracks one by one at Sam Goody.
We do like an Oscar in memoriam to things that we used to do before the internet. Picking up your pills at CVS or Duane Reade.
But I still do that.
You need to get this delivery service that delivers your pills straight to your door.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
was a thing. A pill
Yeah.
delivery service. It seems pretty illegal.
Buying shavers at the store for very expensive prices.
Tamagotchis drowning in their own feces. What, your Tamagotchi's never drowned in its own poop because you didn't clean it? That's how all my Tamagotchis died.
Is this like-
Too much poo. And you would open it and it would just be poop just surrounding it in a square because of the pixels. Spirographs.
Actually having to call the restaurant to order food delivered to your door.
Wondering what I'll do with my $13 from ever.
Accidentally hanging up a phone call and saying I love you to your friend.
CDs.
Taking a big bite out of a Smacker's chapstick.
Lord.
Dunkaroos. Hide and seek. Climbing trees. Being outdoors. Making snowmen. Just being alive and active.
Making real connections.
knowing where my friends were because their bikes were all left outside in the yard.
Knocking on people's doors to see if they want to have a conversation.
Ooh, asking your friends' parents if they were home to hang out.
Meeting halfway. Did you guys ever do that? Meet halfway with your friends? Me and my friend Christy, we would like fill a bag full of stuff that we were gonna go trade at our halfway mark. And we would just trade bags and bring them home. And we had walkie-talkies and we would get on our walkie-talkies and discuss the trade that just happened. It was like a drug deal, but it was just junk from our rooms.
Walkie-talkies. Using my walkie-talkie to spy on my neighbor's wireless phone conversations.
Meeting people in physical locations and then asking them to go on dates.
Ew.
Having to move my satellite dish. Being okay with a few polygons.
Gin rummy.
Mancala.
Books.
Just books.
Just books.
Borders.
Borders. Will Smith's singing career.
MS Paint. Michelle, this one's for you. Cartooners.
Oh my god, that was so fun. Isn't that the one that had like the stamps that were animated and you could like move the...
Yeah,
oh.
I made such good movies with cartooners.
That was like my inspiration as a child. Lemmings.
Lemmings.
Duke Nukem. Jill of the Jungle. After Dark screensavers.
Flying toasters.
Milky gel pens. Those are my favorite. Those were the shit.
King's Quest. Leisure Suit Larry.
Ooh, yeah. Mama want to see some titties. Some boobies.
Drinking milk from breasts. That's what I did before the internet. Because I was a baby.
Okay, we're being kicked out of this library. This is stupid. This is fascism. Get the hell off me.
We pay your salary with our taxes, bitch. We did win the auction. We won the auction.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you for listening to this episode of We Are Rhonda. If you want to call in, we'd love to hear your damn voice. It's beautiful. Michelle, do you have the number memorized?
I do. It's 515-957-1796. Or www.wearerhonda.com. Or
Wow.
just send us a regular old email at wearerhonda@gmail.com.
I'm in the outro.
Okay, bye.
Bye.